Hi, how's it going? Welcome to my channel, where we dive into the highs and lows of living with a disability and together find our way to the center of the two extremes. My name is Miguel, and today we're reacting to Zach Anner and his video about the top 10 things, or 10 things, that he wishes people knew about cerebral palsy. He's done pretty much anything. He's everything. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a writer. This video specifically was actually the first time that I really saw somebody with a disability do something like this or have this type of impact. He's so open and willing to learn about different aspects that I think that's what makes him a really cool person to look up to, especially. So let's dive into it.
Hi, I'm Zach Anner, and the Cerebral Palsy Foundation asked me to help them promote the show Speechless by giving a list of my top 10 things I wish people knew about CP. I don't really know if I can come up with a list of 10 things, but I'm gonna try. Okay, number 1. Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean that you can pet me like a dog. I'm not a dog, and I know it seems nice and I'm at dog height, but that doesn't make me a dog. And just because I like to pee outside sometimes, that doesn't make me a dog. And just because I won the Westminster Dog Show last year doesn't mean... Oh my God. Am I a dog? Number 2. I think it's pronounced cerebral palsy. I don't know if cerebral is a word. Number 3.
I've had trouble, I've heard cerebral a lot of times, especially when I was younger, right? But what I find, it's like the thing with the R's, right? People have trouble. I think that cerebral, like the R sound gives people trouble, so that's why they extend the E. And then in Spanish, it's kind of an even more of a tongue twister because it's parálisis cerebral. So there's even more R's in there to deal with. So it's a lot easier to get tongue twisted. Parálisis cerebral. You almost have to think about how to say it.
It is hard for people with cerebral palsy to make lists with their fingers, so I'm gonna stop doing it. Number 4, if you ask me what's wrong with my legs, the real answer to that is nothing. I have brain damage, so that's a little bit more exciting. Cerebral palsy isn't like, oh, that means your legs don't work. Some people with cerebral palsy are walking around just fine.
Yeah, so speaking to that, that's just the different severity levels, or how much your brain is affected, and it varies greatly from person to person.
Number 5, just because I have cerebral palsy doesn't mean I'm inherently inspiring. I'm inspiring because I'm an author, a YouTuber, and I have the biceps of a Greek god.
So that's a big thing when it comes to, I find in the disability community, that seems to be like the major struggle, right? You try to just live your life normally, but then sometimes people, because of your disability, you can do the most random thing and people will be like, wow, that was incredible, or you kind of get that sense of pity. And I think that's where the problem is.
Number 6, even though I have cerebral palsy, I still consider myself incredibly lucky. I have a great career, I have wonderful friends, and somehow I've managed to make a living while not getting up before noon most days.
Yeah, so that's been a big thing for me. I do consider myself very lucky to be where I am in life despite my disability. If anything, I'm grateful to my disability because it's offered me a new way to go through life, to live life. And that's actually pretty cool once you think about it. Now, getting to the place where you really embrace it, like I mentioned in other videos, it's a continuous process. I don't know how it is for Zach, but yeah, it's just continuous, right? It's something that you have to and I keep saying continuous, but that's the truth. You have to remind yourself, or else it's very easy to get into a really dark area of your mind.
Number 7, just because your grandson has cerebral palsy doesn't mean I know him, Ethel. I mean, we don't even live in the same state.
Yeah, I think that's more funny than anything, but for me, having the disability has been really isolating, actually. Not isolating in a way of like not interacting with people, but just in the fact of I just didn't know that even organizations like the Cerebral Palsy Foundation existed, or people like Zach that are such big advocates. I went through most of my life not knowing.
8. Yes, I'm gonna need some help with some stuff sometimes, but just talk to me like I'm a normal 31-year-old guy who's spilled a carton of chocolate milk on himself. Number 9, you are welcome to pray for me if you want, but I feel like having cerebral palsy is part of the reason I'm supposed to be here, and one of the tools that I can use to help people be a little bit more compassionate and open to people with differences. So it's just I'm working with what I got there.
That I can really relate to that. From my experience, faith has been the thing that's taken me out of that darkness of not seeing a purpose to my disability. And there's a thing that he mentioned about prayer as well. Yeah, like prayer is always good, but prayer with action is also good. I used to pray that I would get healed all of the time, right? But I wouldn't do anything to help it, by which I mean I wouldn't put my best effort in physical therapy, or I wouldn't use all the resources, right? So again, it's there has to be that balance between the two, even when it comes to things like having faith.
And number 10, and most importantly, almost everything I've said is subjective, and you should just talk to more people with CP and see what they feel about it. Because I'm not a spokesman for all people with CP. People with CP are as diverse as all of humanity. So just go out there, have a conversation, and do what you can to educate yourself. So that's about as good a list as I can come up with on the fly, and I hope you learned something today. Or nothing. I don't really care. But remember to subscribe to the Cerebral Palsy Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with a lot of what he says. That last point that he mentioned again, that everyone with a disability is different and has their own experiences, their own values, that all adds to how they cope with their disability. So I thought this would be a fun thing. I think he's hilarious. His YouTube channel is hilarious. He does like a workout Wednesday. And it's pretty funny. He's really funny. Yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please share it with someone who will enjoy it or might benefit from hearing this message. To stay up to date with anything related to this channel, check out downwithmiguel.com. And last but not least, have a great rest of your day, a rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one.